Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. We are here for week 5. This is a special edition Monday night of Wildcat Weekly, and we have a special guest.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
Welcome in, guys. It's Brad with College SportsCast. I've got John Hammonds on here with me. He is probably trying to share a bunch of stuff right now as we get started. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man? How's it going?
We're here for, I think, our 3rd episode of the Wildcat Weekly show. We do have a special guest waiting in the wings. I will get to that in just a second, guys.
He's in the green room. He's in the green room like NFL, man.
He is, man. He is. So to get us started, man, if you're on Facebook with us, we appreciate you. We are growing, getting close to 5,700. You can help support us by sending stars or by subscribing for 99 cents a month. And if you are on YouTube with us, we appreciate you as well. Please like and subscribe. You can also like and subscribe on Facebook as well. And we appreciate each and every one of you. If you are on the Real Fresh channel, we appreciate you as well. You can check us out anytime on the Real Fresh channel as well. So we appreciate y'all. All right, John, we are here for our 3rd episode of Wildcat Weekly on Monday nights. We do have a special guest, and I am going to see if this will work and pull up something here real quick. Change something here. All right, we do have a special guest, and he is waiting. I do want to put something up for you guys. So, John, right in the middle of this screen is our special guest. This is against the Georgia Bulldogs. He is laying in the middle of this pile, and I got this photo actually from his website, so hopefully he doesn't mind me using it. But I am going to get him pulled up here for you guys. We have former linebacker for Kentucky in 1997, graduated, Lamont Smith with us tonight. What's up, Lamont?
How are you guys?
I'm doing good. I hope you don't mind me taking a picture that you have on your website, by the way. One of your former player, as a former player. But I thought I would introduce you that way tonight.
Well, I kind of like it. I don't know which website it was on, but I kind of like it. I actually love it because it's a team photo. You know, it's got like four or five of us in that picture, and I love those kind of pictures.
Absolutely. It is a team photo right there in the pile against the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm not exactly sure which year this is. You may be able to look at the picture and tell me. I don't know.
That is 95. I can tell because I have my full name across the back of my jersey. So that happened in 95. But you know, that's Hines Ward, number 19. And then we're folding up. It's either Patrick Pass or Robert Edwards is getting folded up, and then Matt Stinchcomb. Those are 3 NFL guys that I just named. Number 70 is Matt Stinchcomb. So I love that picture.
All right. Well, cool. I didn't want to take something.
Is that the game that y'all was ahead and they come back and won 34-30?
That's the game we won.
That's the game y'all won. There was a game I think before that they came back and won. I think y'all had a block kick and a block punt in the game or something. I think.
Yeah.
That might have been before you got there.
Yeah, I think that was before I got there. Yeah.
All right. So Lamont played for Kentucky from 94 to 97. I believe I've got that right. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep, that's correct.
All right. And we will get to a few things here, but I want to ask you, and I know this is probably a tough question, and a lot of people probably ask you this, but since you're coming on the show here with us the first time, I do wanted to ask you about the end of the Bill Curry era.
Uh-huh.
And just like, the end of it really didn't go as planned and as well as most people would have liked. So I just want to ask you, how was that as a player and kind of the end of the Bill Curry era?
It was kind of like being left in the middle of the ocean without with just a raft. You didn't know who was coming. I personally loved Bill Curry, one of my favorite coaches, and to have him go, and then the new coaching change was, let's just say, less than desirable, especially if you're on the defensive side of the ball. But
Right.
but yeah, when Bill Curry left, that was tough for a lot of the guys. A lot of the guys had a hard time with it.
I mean, he was really well liked within the program, the players. He was a great guy, Bill Curry
Hmm.
was.
Oh yeah. Here's a quick story. So my roommate and I, we were supposed to be out of the dorms at the end of the school year, and he and I got an apartment. Well, the leasing office called to tell us that the apartment wouldn't be ready for 3 days. So 3 days after we were supposed to be out. So we're literally sitting on the curb outside the Nutter, trying to figure out what our next move was going to be. And Coach Curry pulls up. He says, "Men, what's going on?" And I said, "Coach, we don't have anywhere to go. We're homeless, essentially."
Right.
And he said, so he says, "What do you mean?" So I told him the story, and he said, "Give me the lady's number." So I gave him the number. You remember those old cell phones that you used to carry in the bag? I don't know. Maybe you
Yeah.
guys might be too young for that.
Oh, no,
So he
no. I'm
pulled up.
about your age. So, yeah, I remember.
So he pulled that phone out. He punched in the number. He called. He said, "Ma'am, this is head coach Bill Curry from the University of Kentucky. I got two of my men who are scheduled to move in today, and you told them it'll be 3 days." She said, "Oh no, send them right over. Send them right." And he didn't have to do that. He could have kept driving. He could have just waved and kept moving, but he really cared about us as men, and that's one of the reasons why I love him and his leadership.
Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of ask you kind of the end of that Bill Curry era there and kind of move on from there. I know John probably wants to ask you a question here about this, but I mean, offensively, and you're a defensive guy, you was a linebacker, so it was different for you, but you did get to kind of usher in the air raid era.
Yeah, I guess defensively we were part of that team, but
Yeah.
it was exciting to watch. But it was really exciting to watch. But from my standpoint, there was no emphasis on defense, and I'm not talking about just for the public. There was no emphasis on defense for those teams either. So, I mean, let me just put it like this: that was probably the worst season of my life. Um, I mean, in terms of being in a position to succeed, that was probably one of the worst seasons of my life. But I got through it. No big deal.
John, do you have a question about this era?
What was it like playing for Hal Mummy? I mean, Hal Mummy is Hal Mummy. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of reserved a little bit, and sometimes he sometimes gets loud a little bit too. But what was he like as a coach? Like just playing for him?
Okay, he was for him. I'm gonna say it like that. There was um, I didn't like it at all, and I understand when change comes in, things are going to be different. But that was way different than what I was used to. You know, with players being treated like with Coach Curry, we were treated like men. With him, we were treated like numbers, and I didn't like that at all. Excuse me. I think the hardest thing for me was switching positions in my senior year. I was at the time I was the leading returning tackler, and I asked them. I said, "Well, what are you?" Because they were moving corners to safety, safety to linebackers, linebackers to ends, ends to tackles. So that's what
Yeah.
they did with everybody. And I'm thinking to myself, I said, "Well, what are your plans for me? I'm your leading returning tackler." He said, "Well, we're just going to put you at defensive end and at tackle." I said, "Coach, I'm 235 pounds. What am I supposed to do at tackle?" He said, "Well,
Yeah.
we're going to use," he said, "we're going to use your speed and quickness." I said, "Huh?" It didn't make sense to me. And so, so they moved me to defensive end, and I broke my leg um, the first spring game, the second play of the first spring game, and I thought this is great. Now they got to put me back at linebacker. So the first day back, um, Mike Majors, the defensive coordinator, said, "Get in there." I said, "What?" He said, "Get in there. You're our starting defensive end." I'm like, "How am I starting? I didn't get any reps." He said, "Just get in there." That kind of told me from there we weren't going to
Yeah.
be as good as we were in the past on defense. Uh, we didn't blitz because he said blitz, or Mike Major said blitzing is a guessing game. And I'm like, boy, if this guy only watched film, maybe he'll be able to figure it out. But it was listen, and that's kind of why it was one of the toughest times in the worst season of my life
It
because
definitely, Lamont, it definitely was an offensive era. That's for sure.
sure, yeah,
100%.
hmm
I mean, the entire time he was here, it was like that. It even went on, after he was gone with Guy Morris and
hmm
a little bit after that as well.
yeah,
So it was
yeah,
definitely an offensive era. I do
hmm
have one more question about this, and you may not even remember him. I don't know, but the current TCU coach, Sonny Dykes, was a graduate assistant on that team. Of course, he was an offensive graduate assistant. Do you remember him at
I
all
do
on that
not.
97 team?
No, I do not. We didn't practice. I don't think we practiced too much with the offense when I was there, but I do not. I remember the name, but I don't remember his face.
Okay. He's a current coach of of TCU and the
Okay.
Horned Frogs. And I just thought since you were coming on, I would see if you even remember seeing him or being around. I know you're a defensive guy and he was an offensive graduate assistant. So I didn't know if you
Okay.
would remember or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember him. Maybe he was in
Okay.
90 because the only season I played for Hal was in 97.
Yeah. It was your
So maybe he
senior
was.
year in 97. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I want to ask you about Tim Couch a little bit. So Tim Couch come in the Bill Curry era and played one season under Bill Curry as well. So you got at least two seasons in with Tim Couch. I want to ask you not really about the way he played, but
Mhm.
what kind of moxie or what kind of did he bring to Kentucky that you witnessed?
Um, he was cocky, which is what you want in a quarterback, but he was also a good guy, and
Yeah.
he respected each position. He respected each position, and I like that about him. Uh, very, very personable, and he was, from what I could tell, he was a leader uh, on that side of the ball. So I actually roomed with him um, during camp, and he was quite the character. That was my senior year. He was quite the character. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like it.
I know that you guys didn't, intermix a lot. So I just wanted, he brought a buzz because he was from Kentucky.
Hmm
I mean, being a Kentucky kid kind of
hmm
makes a big difference, especially being the quarterback and having
Yeah.
a talent and leading Kentucky And I just was wondering, like, the buzz around him and what that meant to those Kentucky teams.
The buzz was definitely warranted, and he lived up to it. Um, I mean, like after practice, you watch this kid. Well, he and the other quarterbacks will just, throw balls into the laundry basket in the corner of the end zone, and then they'll hook it up to the golf cart and drive the golf cart, across the back of the end zone, and this kid is dropping them in like nobody's business. So, I mean, it was definitely uh, warranted for him to have that kind of that hype coming in, and I think he lived up to it. I mean, and the Browns thought he lived up to it too because they picked him number one, right?
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
uh, so yeah, I mean, it's not much more I can say about Tim, but that he's a great guy and he played the game. He knew the game. Here's one thing: we were in a history class, and it was like one of those athlete classes that you kind of blow off. And I see him up in the corner with like three or four offensive linemen around him. He's up there drawing up plays. And I'm like, this guy's crazy. He's not even listening to the instructor. But yeah, he was definitely about the game.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to throw something at you that you probably do not know. And this is a defensive guy. This was on your squad and your senior year. Do you remember Jeff Zerker?
Yeah, that's I saw Jeff about a year ago. He's up in Cincinnati.
He is. He is up around Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So my brother-in-law, who's married to my sister, is Jeff Zerker.
Your brother-in-law who oh gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my
I,
brother-in-law, who is married to my
yeah, yeah,
sister, is
yeah.
Jeff Zerker.
And
So
I love Jeff. Super guy.
I
Love him.
just thought I would mention that Jeff was
Yeah.
a starting safety for
Yep.
you guys. I think his junior and senior year, I believe.
I believe he started in '98 in the '98 season, but he played a lot in '97.
97.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, he and I had the same major in college, and he was a genius. You know that he was a Rhodes
Yeah,
Scholar
yeah.
and all
Jeff
that
is
stuff.
one of the
Yeah,
smartest dudes I've ever known. Yeah.
yeah, me too. Here's a story about him. One night he and I we were doing this project we had a class project to do. It was me, him, and maybe two or three other people, and we just got home from a game on a Saturday night, and I woke up and I tried to call him on Sunday morning. Back then we didn't have cell phones, so I'm trying to call him. He didn't
Yeah.
answer. So I walked over to the library. This was probably at around 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and
Yeah.
he's in the library.
Yeah.
I said, man, I said, how long have you been here? He said, oh, I've been here for about 4 hours. He
Yeah.
said, he
Like
said, I'm almost
9 o'clock.
done. Yeah, I'm almost done with the project. Wait, what? said, I said, Jeff, I said, why didn't you call me? He said, you don't need to worry about it. I said, I could at least got you coffee or something, man. Lord knows I didn't want to write all that stuff down, but yeah, great guy.
If this was a Sunday, this after a game on a Saturday?
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep,
Sunday morning at 5 a.m. That sounds
yep.
like Jeff Zerker.
That's a
Dedication. It's
dedication.
dedication.
I tell you.
Yeah.
That sounds exactly like Jeff Zerker for
I
sure.
got another kind of bonus question. There was another Jeff on that team that I thought was probably one of the best linebackers in
Snedeker.
all of college football. Snedeker.
Yep.
What was it like playing for? Because I would watch him go sideline to sideline on TV, and it was just like he was out there busting heads every weekend, man.
hmm well, Jeff came in as a quarterback. You know that? He came in the
Yep.
Did
UK
not
as
know that.
yeah, he came in the UK as a quarterback, and after Couch signed his letter of intent, Jeff said, "Man, I ain't gonna never play quarterback." He said, "I'm just gonna go over here and play defense." So he
Yeah.
came over to play linebacker. His first year playing, he was confused as to where to line up. So he said, "Hey Lamont, where do I line up?" I said, "It doesn't even matter. Just go make a play," because he was one of those talents that It didn't matter where he lined up; he was gonna make a play either way.
He just
So
had a nose for the ball.
yeah. And
Yeah.
he had the speed for it too, size and speed too, and he hit like nobody's business.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember his shoulder pads. His shoulder pads like this. Now, back in
Yeah,
the days.
back in the 90s, it was a different time. It was a different age.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Well, Jeff always had shoulder problems too. I think it was from how hard he was hitting people. So he always had
Yeah.
these braces and stuff up under his pads, which made him look probably that much higher.
Yeah, man. His shoulder pad was up here around his ears, man. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember those days, man. All right, so let's get to the Alabama game in '97. I think all Kentucky football fans, even the young ones who go back and look at stuff and reminisce about stuff, know the '97 Alabama game, and Lamont was a part of that. So,
Mhm.
just give us your experience as a player in that game.
Um, I tell you, it kind of felt like it was a normal game, but you knew it wasn't a normal game. Um, it was. Here's the thing: Sean Alexander was running all over us, up and down the field, and I'm like, how do we stop this kid? That's what I'm thinking to myself.
From
And
Kentucky, by the way.
yeah. Boone County High School. I live in Boone County now. So um, he was running up and down the field, and then all of a sudden they just stopped running him. They actually, I think they may have taken him out of the game or something like that. I'm like, wow, is he hurt? I don't think he was hurt. They just stopped running him, and I think that's when that's when the momentum switched in our favor, and with Dave Ginn getting that block kick at the end, I mean that was incredible. I mean I've never
Yeah.
been a part of a game to where people tore down the goalposts until that game. Well, yeah, they tore it down when we beat I think when we beat LSU in '95. But yeah, I mean I actually have a piece of that goalpost at the house, and it was pretty exciting, pretty exciting.
You know, that game, he was on. I don't know if he was on the field at that time. When was you on the special teams field goal block, the one that where they blocked it and Anwar Stewart ran it back? Was you on that? Was you?
I was not on that.
You was.
No.
What was the feeling like on the sidelines when that thing blocks up? It goes up in the air and Anwar picks it up and runs it. I was actually there. Me and Brad was there. Brad
Oh
was
yeah.
probably in his 20s. I was probably
I was there.
8 and 9 years old. But I
Okay.
remember it with my dad. It was like this game. That changed the whole game. In all
Oh yeah.
honesty, turned the whole
Yeah.
game around.
The atmosphere was go go go. You know that's everybody, that's what a lot of people around me were saying. But I mean it was an incredible. Anwar has hands. I mean and with Dave Ginn having that length and that jumping ability, that was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that is one of the premier wins, best wins, however you want to call it in Kentucky football history. Unfortunately, there is not many, or if any more, Alabama wins for Kentucky ever over the Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
I would have to go back to the Bear Bryant days, maybe when Bear Bryant was actually at Kentucky and not at Alabama. They beat Alabama a time or two. I'm not sure. But I know in the modern era, that's the only time that Kentucky has beat Alabama.
From my understanding, that was the first time in 71 years that
Yeah.
we beat Alabama.
What
Yeah,
was the night like? What was the night like after the game? Like you and the guys, like was it just hard to fathom like that you actually did this?
I can say maybe half of the locker room was like that, and the other half were saying, we knew that we would win. Um, I think I was on the half where I was a little skeptical, as to how the game would go, because we weren't as stout on defense, but I think it was the energy in the locker room. I guess at the end, all the people who were on the fence, they're like, yeah, well, we knew we would do it. We knew we would do it.
Well, and a lot of people don't realize who that quarterback for Alabama was at the time was Freddie Kitchens.
What about him? What about Freddie?
That's what I mean. He coached for the Browns. I think he was offensive coordinator for the Browns.
Okay.
Freddie Kitchens was a quarterback in that game, and that was a decent Alabama team. They had Deshaun Townsend and Sean Alexander. It was not a slouch Alabama group that you all beat
at all. Yeah. Those are some classic names right there that you just dropped.
Yeah,
I love football, Lamont.
I can tell.
Yeah. All right, so I want to switch it up and talk a little bit about this team and this year's team. Kentucky is headed to South Carolina. I mean, just how big of a game do you think it would be if Kentucky can get a win this Saturday?
Well, I think an SEC win is much needed for the Cats. Not just for the fans, but for confidence sake. It's kind of tough watching them lose the Ole Miss, but then when they beat Eastern Michigan handedly, and then who did we play the first game? The first game
Toledo.
Barely. So two MAC teams, two MAC teams that we played. I saw an improvement after the last game, but I think it would be very much appreciated by the fans if they got a win down there, and it'd be huge for the program if we got a win down there. I know when I was, let me see, back in '95 when we played in a monsoon down in South Carolina. I mean, the rain was coming up off the ground. It was coming down and up, but that's when Mo Williams had like 299 all-purpose yards.
Yeah,
And
man.
Watch Mo go, baby.
And he was one of my favorites all time.
Yeah. So that was probably one of my more favorite games to play. And Columbia is such a nice place and a nice nice environment to play in. I think the guys will probably feed off of that too.
And South Carolina's coming off of 2 straight losses. I mean, Vandy handed them a pretty good beating at home, 31-7. And then Missouri got them last week in Columbia, Missouri last week. So they're coming off of 2 straight losses. Kentucky has a chance here. And I want to ask you about Lexington native Cutter Boley. He was named the starter today for this game. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to be the starter down the road, if Calzada is fully healthy or what's going on, but he is going to get the start on Saturday versus South Carolina. How do you think he played, and what are you looking forward to with Cutter Boley?
I actually like how Boley played against Eastern Michigan. I thought he made some good decisions. He didn't make any like real critical errors. I think if the defense plays the way they've been playing, and if the offense kicks it up 1 notch, maybe 2 notches, I think we got a chance to pull one out in South Carolina. But I like Boley's decision making, and I think he's picking up the offense and what the defense is doing a lot quicker than what's the
Calzada.
Yeah.
Calzada. I agree. Like, I was there Saturday before last for the Eastern Michigan game. I liked his pocket presence. I liked the fact that he was efficient and didn't turn the ball over. So, some of the things that you were talking about, he had really good pocket presence. He did not take a sack in that game. So that's it for a redshirt freshman. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and I was telling somebody the other day, we really hadn't had a quarterback at the University of Kentucky who's been feared like in a while, other than like Randall Cobb, Woodson.
I mean, Will Levis had a good year.
Will
At least
Levis,
one
Will
good
Levis
year.
had it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he played, but his teams weren't really scared of them, like
yeah,
they were of these other guys, and
yeah.
scared
I'll
of
go
him like
with
they
you.
were
Definitely
of these
was.
other guys.
Yeah.
And I think if we get that one quarterback who people fear or they talk about nationally, I think that'll be a change in the program too, because people want to play with guys who can get them the ball. And I don't know, is Boley it? I don't know. Calzada
I
it?
like him getting the ball to the tight ends. He's got a good connection to the
Hmm.
tight ends. I think that's something that we have been missing the last few years. Is getting the ball over in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Everything's been on the outside, it seems like.
Uh-huh.
And I think getting the ball over the middle of the field to the tight ends is going to be an added bonus to this
Oh
team
yeah, definitely.
if we can
Yeah,
continue to do that.
hmm I think that'll be a great game plan. Brad, you should put it in the suggestion box.
I agree. I agree with you a lot for sure. All right, so I know that we said 30 minutes. We're getting close to that 30
I
minutes
got I
here.
got
So,
one more bonus. I got a bonus question before we
Mhm.
let him go. So
all right, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you. I know you played with Chris Ward
Mhm.
at UK, and he had the big game against Mississippi State,
Uh,
and then y'all beat Georgia, and then I think you beat LSU. Was that LSU the same year? All three the same year, or
I
was
think
that
we beat LSU. Last time we beat LSU was at home in '95.
that was it? 95. Yeah.
Yeah, that was for
And then
homecoming, by the way.
homecoming. Yeah.
That was Mo Williams' teams.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was actually
Yeah.
at the Georgia game. Y'all won 24-17. Y'all had to come back in that game
Hmm.
to win that game. What was it like playing against just SEC guys in general? Like who was one of your favorites to just go up against? Like was it Hines Ward? Was it just somebody on the offensive line?
Um, Not no one in particular. I mean, we play, the SEC. You got talent each and every week, and I think each of them posed a different challenge for me.
Mm.
And I guess prepping for them was probably uh, the most tedious task, but it always worked out for me in the end. You go into these games, nervous, nervous, and you just want to get that first hit. After we get that first hit, I mean, it's on. Like I really don't see uh, people. I see numbers on jerseys, and for me, I just see numbers on jerseys, and I
Right.
see somebody who's trying to take me out. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm being dramatic, but take me out and trying to make big plays, and I'm trying to do the same. I was trying to do the same back to them. So um, I don't know. It's kind of playing like it felt like I was in a Tecmo Bowl situation.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I brought up Chris Ward because I was actually at the Mississippi State game that he went crazy.
Yeah.
That was a game that I'll never forget as long as I live. Me and my dad, I was just a little boy, but
Mm.
the day that he had on the field,
Mhm.
was just remarkable. And he's a
Yeah.
really good dude too,
Yeah. Very much
Chris
so.
Ward. And I just kind of wanted you to kind of talk a little bit about Chris before we let you go. So
Yeah. And by the way, his oldest son is a freshman at Virginia, playing football at Virginia this year. So he's
Okay.
got some smart kids down there. But great guy, solid guy. He was one of my friends on the team, and he, just watching him work was was remarkable. Watching what a man of that size and that stature, and to be able to move how he moved was just it was a sight to see. We had an intramural basketball team. So it was myself, Chris Ward, uh, Anthony White, Andre Smith. I don't know if you all know Andre Smith.
I
I
remember
think Andre.
Andre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then and a couple other guys from the football team, but those guys stand out to me because all we would do was just kick it into Chris, and he'll just bully his way in, and he'll get a layup. And then Andre, to be as big as he was, he could handle the ball, and of course, Basketball was Anthony White's #1 sport. That was the only football player that I knew who walked around campus with a basketball in his
Basketball. Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
You played
Yeah.
with Champ. You played with Champ Kelly too, didn't you?
Play with who?
Champ Kelly, was that after you?
No, he was after me.
He was after you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right. So real quick, just to your playing days, favorite sack or tackle for loss?
that had to be Indiana. Indiana game. I think the score was 0-0. Um, I just got chewed out by my coach, and so back then they had the coach was in our defense coordinator was in the press box, and somebody brought a big speaker and put it in front of us so that he could talk to the defense through the speaker. And
Yeah.
he says, if we get number 45 to make a tackle, then we'll be able to. And I'm like, what is he talking? Is he talking about me? I mean, I was pissed, but I was pissed not because he I was pissed because he was calling me out, and I was pissed at myself for having to be called out. So that next series, that next play, I could tackle a guy, I got cut block, and I jumped up, and I still got the tackle. And then the next play, I got an interception, and then it would set us up for the field goal to win that game. So
that was the game that we beat Indiana 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
So
Even the
Yeah.
pouring rain. It actually rained right before the game. I think it rained a little bit during the game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the one hit I had against you all remember Donnell Gordon? He played for UK.
Yeah, I remember Donnell
Yeah.
transferred to
Yeah.
Louisville.
He transferred to Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They threw him a swing pass, and I popped him, and I rolled over. No. This was in the game. He was playing for
This was
Louisville. He
after.
transferred to
This
Louisville.
is after he transferred. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I mean, and it was all fun and games, because we had a good time. We were talking crazy to him during the game, like, yeah, you wish you would have stayed, huh? And like he caught this swing pass, and I knocked him, and he went flying backwards, and I rolled over, and I looked at their bench, and I just saw heads do like this, and I'm like, let's go. Yeah, so that was good. So those are two big
I
memorable plays.
remember that game really well. I think it was at 94, when I think it was Damon Key intercepted the pass. I think that's Dan Key's daddy, right?
Dante Key.
Dante Key. Dante,
Yeah.
right. Dan Key's daddy. Yeah. I was actually at that game too. I was at a lot of your games as a kid. My dad, we used to go every game, and and a lot of people think back to the 90s to now with Mark Stoops, and I said, even back then it was fun because I was a kid and I loved Kentucky football, and it's always been instilled in me to watch UK football. Wow. And I'm not going to look back and think, well, those were bad days, because they wasn't. Because there was times where I enjoyed the moments that we did have, and I still enjoy the moments I do now. Like, I'm not going to say Bill Carey's this or Bill Carey's that, but at the same time, it was just, for me as a kid, it was fun.
Of course.
I remember, I go way back. I go back further than he goes. I go to Mark Higgs, Bill Ransdell. I go back to the 83, 84 teams. Mark Higgs.
He's an old man, Lamont.
Ivy Joe Hunter. Do you remember Ivy Joe Hunter? The name Ivy Joe Hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little older than John. But anyway, I'll get you out of here with this. We've run over, and I appreciate you coming on with us, Lamont. But the Mark Stoops era is in year 13. I mean, how do you think he has done, and what do you think the future holds for Kentucky football?
I think he's done a great job. I think he's set the bar higher and higher on multiple years, and I think the fans are spoiled in that if we don't make a bowl, they're like they want to get rid of him or get rid of his staff or get rid of the quarterback, whatever it is. But I think he set the precedence for Kentucky football so high, especially after that 10-win season. Anything less than 10 wins, people are freaking out. So I think the future of Kentucky football will all depend on it's day by day, man, because like the college football employment for
It's
head
totally,
coaches.
yeah.
I mean, they'll buy you out in a heartbeat, like
Yep.
and won't think anything of it. So just have one or two bad seasons, and your head's on the chopping block. So
Yep.
I think it's the future is as good as recruiting goes, the portal, the NIL, which is
Yeah. There's a
which is
lot of
all blow.
scenarios in it now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it really blows my mind. So I don't know. I guess time will tell.
I mean, do you think Kentucky can survive in the 9 SEC game era that's fixing to start, the NIL world? Do you think Kentucky can compete and make a college football playoff in the future?
You know what? I don't know because how people come up with these preseason predictions and so just transferred in or this person signed this letter of intent here. They're going to be really good. I don't listen to a lot of that until actually the proof is in the pudding because all the kids are there for a reason. All the kids are on scholarship for a reason, and so I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see what happens from that.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair assumption because we're in a completely different world than some of the days that we're talking about when you played. I mean, heck,
Mhm.
even 10 years ago, we're in a completely
Yeah,
different world.
I'll be honest with you. I
sure.
miss the '90s football, um,
I do too.
and I just don't. Football today is so mocked with money. It's took over the game actually.
Hmm.
And in the '90s, it was just like you didn't get a lot of games on TV, but the
Hmm.
times that you did get them, you
Hmm.
appreciated it a lot more.
Sure.
And you
Yep.
appreciated the players that played, and they played for the jersey on the front and the back, and it just feels like that has been a miss somewhere along the lines. That the jersey don't mean nothing anymore. It's just all about getting me a check.
Well,
And
you go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead, you're good.
I was gonna say you can't, and here's the thing: you can't get mad at the kids for wanting to, put
Not at all. Not at
themselves or
all.
their lot or their families in
No.
better situations. I think if the NIL would have come out, I'm all for the players getting paid, but if the NIL would have come out with a cap, if there was a ceiling to what they could make, then I think it would be a little bit better. But if you look at it, you have these locker rooms. Let's say you have a player who's making $20,000 a game, just throwing the number out there, $20,000 a game. Then another player who's making $30,000 a game and they're both receivers. That 20,000 is going to go to the quarterback. Like, hey man, I need more passes. I need to touch the ball more. And then it's like, oh, now the quarterback's like, oh, do I throw it to him so he can get more money, or do I keep throwing it to this guy? Then if he keeps throwing it to this guy, the $20,000 guy is going to be pissed. And then if he's throwing it to the $20,000 guy, the other guy's going to be pissed. It's a whole thing that happens. It's a
Yep.
trickle down effect,
It is.
and
It is.
and I think the payments for the kids is good, but I think the too much money with there being too much money on the table that it could be a curse.
I
I
mean,
think for kids in the future.
maybe this new NCAA era with the salary cap and stuff. I mean, maybe
Mhm.
this will help. The last 4 or 5 years has been nothing but wild, wild west,
Oh
to be
yeah,
honest with you. So
And I'll and
maybe
I'll
it'll help and everything. I'm not sure.
and I'll say
yeah.
this before you go. I want to do this for a reason because, and I don't say this lightly. Like I'm going to say it to your face, behind your back. You was one of my favorite players ever to put on the blue and white,
Thanks,
and
bro. I appreciate you.
and I mean that. I do. I
Yeah.
watched you as a kid. I mean, I watched myself as a kid watching you
Hmm.
just do your thing on the football field, and I would listen to the radio, Ralph Hacker, Jeff Van Note. That was my days. Brad, he's probably in the '80s, but mine was the '90s with Mo
Hmm.
Williams and
Yeah.
Melvin Johnson and
Yeah.
Pookie Jones. Like
Hmm.
those were my days,
Yeah.
and I appreciate every single one of them, and that's why I brought you on because like you are my top notch dude defensively of all time.
Well, I appreciate it, John. Thanks, man. Thanks
You
a lot.
are,
That
man.
means a lot.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you being with us. We have run you over several minutes here, but we hope you've enjoyed being on with us here at College Sportscast. Lamont, we appreciate you. He does still do some stuff with Kentucky, I think, with the work that you do and things. So,
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
oh, you don't?
No, not anymore. I worked with the football team and the track and field teams down there. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was some years ago though. I'm like maybe 4 or 5 years ago was the last time I worked with track and field.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you being here with us, man. We will let you run off, and I know you got other things to do and other commitments, and we appreciate your time and being with us tonight.
Brad, John, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
We
Yeah,
appreciate
it
it.
was fun. It was fun. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. Go Big Blue.
Go Cats.
Yeah, absolutely. Go Cats. All right, guys. We ran over a little bit with linebacker Lamont Smith.
You know
But-
how I mean, I know everybody.
But it was fun. But it was definitely fun to do. And
Everybody has that childhood moment that you kind of get back into your life. Like that was mine. Like with Lamont.
so I'm going to wrap it up with this. That is a picture of a team picture of Lamont. This is in '95. I believe Kentucky actually beat Georgia in this photo. Lamont is right in the middle of that dog pile, basically.
Basically,
Yeah. And he's right in the middle, stopping a play there against the Georgia Bulldogs. Matt Stitzcomb, you guys may know him as a broadcaster now.
Yeah,
He is
SEC.
actually in that picture. But I just wanted to put that out there. I really, really do appreciate Lamont being with us tonight. So I just want to give him the proper shout out. He said he loved that picture. So we appreciate him being with us tonight. All right, John, we have talked a little bit about Cutter Boley. I want to give you the floor. And, he was announced today that Cutter is going to be the starter on at least the starter on Saturday, this coming Saturday. So at South Carolina, I know you're probably happy about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, Boley completed 21 passes for 240 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, be honest, it was the opponent, Eastern Michigan. But now he kind of goes up a step in competition and plays South Carolina. I think, South Carolina's dropped out of the top 25. They've lost, like you said, they lost to Vanderbilt, Missouri. Their defense is not great. I think Kentucky's got an opportunity to run the football with the 2 backs that they got, and Dante Dowdell and Seth McGowan. I think there's an opportunity there. I really thought he did a good job against Eastern Michigan, like I said with Boley. It's easy to look at film from last year and say, well, he didn't play great against Louisville, but you got to remember he was a freshman.
And it was his very first start at the end of the year. The game did not mean anything. It didn't matter. We were 4-7.
And I agree with
you. The game meant nothing. So
well, look at the Texas game last year. I felt like you saw a little bit of the future in him. They put a little pressure on the Longhorns in the second half. It was 24-7 before halftime. They put in Boley. At the time, Stoops was like, well, we needed a spark. And Boley went out there and kind of gave him a little bit of a spark. He had a 43-yard bomb to Berrien Brown. I think another play later, he had another 40-yard pass, which they had a holding penalty. But at the end of the day, I feel like you see things with Boley, the way he handles himself in the pocket, the way he moves outside the pocket, the fast release of what he wants to do with his arm. I think he gives you, and this is no knack on Zach Calzada, I just think Boley is just better fit for this type of game, and I think he is the one you should roll with going forward. Because if you're going to develop these kids and you're going to develop, a quarterback, you got to start with Cutter Boley because he's been there. He's a Lexington kid. He played at LCA. I think you got to give him a shot, and I think this is his big opportunity to make some noise on the national stage.
He's got the stage, that's for sure, on
SEC
Saturday night. Yep.
So it's a big opportunity for Cutter.
It is. And I mean, heading to South Carolina, they are coming off of 2 losses. I mean, they're listen, I was listening to Paul Feinbaum earlier today for about 45 minutes. I didn't watch the whole thing, but a little bit. I heard a caller come on from South Carolina, and he was talking about how South Carolina the whole state is just down. You got Clemson, you got South Carolina losing 2 in a row. The whole state thought they might have 2 playoff teams. And this caller was like, man, we need something to go right. Right now is the perfect time to catch South Carolina, is what I'm trying to say.
It is. I agree. I mean, look at Kentucky. Josh Caddis, the tight end, he leads the team in receiving. You got Jamori Macklin. He's a really big deep threat on here. Now, no Kentucky receiver has a touchdown through 3 games except Josh Caddis, which is the tight end. But maybe this week we can kind of go vertical and do some things with Cutter Boley and these wide receivers. I mean, they got on defense, I think Alex Safari is leading the team in tackles.
I mean, Kendrick Law could get a big play. Macklin could get a big play. I mean, they could.
Kentucky's a really physical first football program. They will want to run the clock. They're probably going to limit possessions. South Carolina has – to me, from a South Carolina perspective, if you're looking at this from South Carolina, this is a game you try to protect Sellers and you just throw the ball all night long and you blow Kentucky out. And I'm not saying this from Kentucky. I'm saying this from South Carolina. This is a game that you need to win for the bowl game. Kentucky feels the same way. But if there's any game on this schedule that's winnable, it's this one in Florida. If you saw what happened to Florida Saturday night,
100%. Listen, John, and I'll say this as this is Wildcat Weekly, and we're talking Kentucky here. If you're a Kentucky fan, if you're a Kentucky alumni, if you're a Kentucky player, if you're part of the athletic department, this is a game. When Vanderbilt comes in and beats them 31-7 in Columbia, Kentucky's got to feel confident that they can go in and do the same thing.
Well, and too, Brad, this season has been up and down. You had the Toledo game. They struggled at times. They finally beat them. They had Ole Miss down 10-0.
I'm not saying that we're confident we're beating them 31-7, but you got to feel good that you can go in and get a win. That's what I'm trying to say.
And you had so many opportunities against Ole Miss. You had the 10-0 lead, like I said.
And Ole Miss doesn't look like a bad team, guys. They're still undefeated. They're playing LSU this week. We'll see what happens. But Ole Miss does not look like a bad team.
I don't think this game – people realize how much this game is – it's essential, I think. For Shane Beamer, I think losing this game for him would mark three straight SEC losses.
Yep.
That could define their season, to be honest.
And 2 of them would be at home.
Yeah.
If they lose this.
So I want to say this before we kind of go to volleyball, but Cutter Boley, there's a lot of potential there if they can find the rhythm. There's been some flashes of what he did against Eastern Michigan. The offensive run game has been really good by Seth McGowan. I think he has 275 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns over 6 games. That's impressive to me. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people have not really talked about all season long. They've talked about Boley. They've talked about McGowan.
Offensive line looks better as well.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. The offensive line has been much improved.
Yep, so far. I mean, we've only played Ole Miss and 2 MAC teams. So, I mean, but so far, It looks better. We'll find
Well,
out
Brad,
more Saturday.
you get South Carolina this week, you get Georgia this week, and then you get Texas off the bye week.
Yeah.
We're going to find out how good you are,
We're going
brother.
to find out pretty quick. That's for sure.
And
John, before we do move to football, I got one more thing I wanted to ask you about.
Okay.
Before we move to football. Before we move to volleyball.
The permanent stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about this. So Chris Lowe from On3 is reporting that tomorrow, now this will be official tomorrow night, SEC is having a show on SEC Network, and they are going to come out with the schedules for the next 4 years, 26, 27, 28, and 29. The top three here, Chris Lowe is reporting that this is what the SEC is doing. That's what he's reporting. The three teams for Kentucky, John, and I'm surprised by this. I thought Kentucky would get shafted and not get real rivals. I'm actually surprised and pleasantly surprised by this myself. I know a lot of people are going to complain, but the three teams that they're saying Kentucky is going to get tomorrow night, John, is Tennessee, Florida, and South Carolina as their three permanent rivals. How do you feel about that?
I like Florida. You know, this series used to be painful, honestly.
Yeah, but we've done pretty well with this series. We won 4 out of 6 before last year.
It's been pretty competitive on the schedule. Yeah. South Carolina, you know, has always been a toss-up rivalry game, really close game.
And Tennessee, whether we like it or not, Tennessee is probably our biggest rival.
Well, and despite, you know, being a border rival, to me, this has really been a lopsided series.
It has been, but it's still one of our – it's still our biggest – I think it's bigger than Louisville. I really do in football.
It is. I think it is. And I think, you know, keeping Tennessee, keeping Florida, keeping South Carolina is pretty awesome. Now, you're probably going to lose out on Vanderbilt. You're going to lose out on a few others every year. Georgia, you're going to lose that one.
So the last part of this, I have the other 6 games. I have put these teams. This is my guess, okay, for the schedule for the next 4 years. I have put these teams in pairs, okay. I've got Auburn. I got Alabama and Auburn as a pair. I've got Mississippi State and Ole Miss as a pair. I've got Texas and Oklahoma as a pair. I've got LSU and Georgia as a pair. I've also got Vandy and Missouri because they came from the East in a pair. And I've got A&M and Arkansas because they came from the West in a pair. I think this is a fair way, if you've got the Tennessee, Florida, and South Carolina, that you pick the first one of each one of these. So you get Alabama, Mississippi State, Texas, LSU, Vandy, and A&M 1 year. That would be the 6 games plus the Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina. Then the next, you know, the next 6 teams that you would play 1 year would be Auburn, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Georgia, Missouri, and Arkansas. So you play every team with home and away every 4 years. Every 4 years.
Me is that Kentucky's not played A&M at home as long as they've been in the. They've only played them once, and that was in College Station in overtime.
Yep.
That's it. And they've yet to play Oklahoma. They've yet to play Oklahoma, and they haven't played them probably since the 50s.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Oh, and I got another thing I forgot to tell you. Georgia, Kentucky next week will be at 12 o'clock on ABC. For those wondering,
it's a noon game.
It's a noon game on ABC.
Okay. All right.
So if you want to watch it at noon, ABC, Kentucky pull off one of the greatest miracles in all of college football.
Yeah.
Be there, be square, as I can tell you.
If Kentucky could pull off a win in Columbia, South Carolina this week and be sitting at 3-1 going into that Georgia game.
Athens,
Listen, going into Athens, I think that would be a huge plus for this program, to be honest with you.
Because if you look at it from our view, it's probably going to be 3-2 going into the bye week. Honestly, if that's what you're looking at. But
if you could get one of these games, you could be 3-2 going into the bye week.
But the issue is you don't want to lose you don't want to lose them back to back.
No, and then you've got, down the road, you've got
Texas,
Auburn, you've got
Tennessee.
you've got Tennessee, you've got Vandy, you've got Florida. There's a couple of winnable games in there. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Brad. Florida's looking more winnable as the season goes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of winnable games in there. You got Tennessee Tech, of course, and Louisville. So I mean, there's a few. I'm not saying a bunch, but a few winnable games down the road. But anyways, we're going to switch it up before we end the show here, John. I do want to get to a little bit of volleyball talk here at College Sportscast for our Wildcat Weekly show. We have done most of this show on football. As the season progresses, guys, we will do more and more basketball stuff here for our Wildcat Weekly show as well. But right now, it's a whole lot of football and some really big volleyball. And there was a big game last Thursday night for the volleyball.
The streak is dead.
Yeah, there was a really big game. Kentucky had not beaten Louisville, I think, since 2019. Is that right?
It was a really good game. Five set, just classic game. Their mental aspect of it. They dropped the first set. They fell behind 2-1 in the third.
They fell behind 2-1.
Yeah, a team that was not as great would have folded the tent right after that. It would have probably been game set match. But Kentucky responded. The turnaround. Kentucky offense found a new gear to run into. I think they hit 404.
They won 40 of the last 59 points in set 4 and 5.
Yeah,
in that
Brooklyn
game.
Delay was sensational.
She was. Ava Hudson was sensational as well.
24 kills, Delay.
Yeah.
The curse is broken, Brad. And, you get the bragging rights. You get to bring it back to Lexington. They got a tough schedule coming up in the SEC play. SEC is going to be tough all season long, and I think these girls are ready for it.
So over the weekend, they did sweep 3-0 Washington. That was their final non-conference game. Over the weekend, Ava Hudson had a big game in that one. I think she had 28 kills in that game. Between the two outside hitters who are being nationally recognized and, a great tandem to have. They also have a couple of Mollies in the middle, Asia Thigpen. They've got Brooke. They've got Lizzie Carr. They've got, they've got a couple of freshmen that are playing well, Trinity and Cassie O'Brien that's playing well. So, this is a legit title contender team for the volleyball. Nice. They have finished non-conference play, and they do begin SEC play this week. They play on Wednesday night, the 24th, and Friday night, the 26th. Both are home games at 7 o'clock in historic Memorial Coliseum. Go check out these girls. They climbed to number 3 in the poll today, John. Mm-hmm. The new AVCA, the American Volleyball Association, come out. The new poll come out today. They rise to number 3 after beating Louisville. They had fallen to 6. They climbed back up to 3. I think they're tied with Stanford at the 3 spot. But the only 2 teams that's ahead of them is Nebraska and Texas in the polls. So
Nebraska's a really good team too. They really good.
And Texas is their legit competition for the SEC. Florida has a good team. There's a few other teams that are good. Missouri, Tennessee have decent teams. There's a few other teams in there in the SEC. But this week, Kentucky begins play against South Carolina on Wednesday night and Georgia on Friday night. And both of these games are at home in historic Memorial Coliseum at 7:00. And check them out. I will, if you follow College Sportscast, I will be posting stuff about them. I have not looked up whether or not they are going to be on TV on
We are
Wednesday.
so close. And another thing, we are so close to Midnight Madness.
We are. We're getting very close. I mean, it's October the 11th.
It's
October the
it's the
11th.
weekend. It's the weekend of the Texas game.
It's the bye week.
The bye week. I'm sorry. They had
It's the
it
bye
was
week.
it was the Texas week, and then they changed it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's they
it was.
moved it to the bye week for football on
So
Saturday.
realistically, it's 2 weeks. If you count this week, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
by
no,
Saturday it will be.
Yeah, Saturday would be 2 weeks.
Yeah, this Saturday would be 2 weeks. Yeah.
The women's team, the men's team's going to be good. Both of them are going to be really, really, really great.
By the way, Georgia Amore was on campus and in the Kentucky practices with Kenny Brooks. Now she blew out her knee. She's not fully go and she's not practicing, but she was in the building and around the team this week or this weekend. And it's great to see her and to see her back around Kenny Brooks and the players and the program. Look, she spent 4 years at Virginia Tech. Yes, she is close to Kenny Brooks, and I guess that's why she is back at Kentucky. But it's good to see somebody like that in 1 year coming back to be part of this program.
And I expect the girls to be ranked somewhere up in 17, 18, possibly.
Yeah.
The men
They
probably
could be
men's
21,
probably
22.
going to be top 5. When it's all said and done, maybe top 6.
And I got to end the show. We will definitely talk about this tomorrow night, but I was totally caught off guard and surprised by the Bruce Pearl news today.
Yeah, that we'll talk about that tomorrow. So
we will definitely talk about that tomorrow night, but I just wanted to mention it, talking about basketball stuff here. But please go check out the girls volleyball team, man. They are third in the country. They're fighting for another SEC title. And yes, that is not a misprint. They are defending 8 straight SEC titles. 8, the volleyball team in the SEC. So that's what they are about to embark on as SEC play begins Wednesday night for the volleyball team. They have national championship aspirations, and they are not afraid to talk about it. So go check them out. Appreciate you guys. I want to give a huge shout out to our guest that was on the show with us tonight. Former Kentucky football linebacker Lamont Smith was with us tonight for the first about 45 minutes of this show. If you are joining us late, please go back and check out Lamont Smith with us here for our third installment of Wildcat Weekly. And we appreciate him being with us tonight. And tomorrow night, check out the Big Fuss Show. We will do a lot of college football stuff and just a lot of stuff going on and new polls for football and a big week of games coming up, to be honest with you.
This week might be the best week so far.
Yeah, it's a big week of games coming up this week. The SEC slate is great this week coming up, including
I'll keep you posted on Friday. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to Somerset.
Yeah.
I'm I'm going to watch Pulaski play South Warren. Big game in that area. So it'll probably be late coming back. So if I'm not there, I could kind of jump on when I'm, well, I wouldn't say driving, but I could put it down and just talk while you go through the games and stuff. So I'll let you know later in the week.
Okay, man. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. This has been College Sportscast Wildcat Weekly, our third episode of season 4 of Wildcat Weekly, and we are headed into week 5 of college football. All right, guys, y'all enjoy your night. We will see you tomorrow for the Big Fuss Show.
Have a good one, y'all.